Rosemont
I
Horizon.
do remember that.
And in fact, you were in Baltimore one time with the Bulls.
I
You were
was.
covering the Bulls one time, and you were in Baltimore in a bar, and you looked up on the screen, and I was on the screen.
That's true.
So yeah, I've done a lot of things, and of course, if you would have told me 20 years ago that I'd be Santa Claus at the White House, I would have never
Well,
believed
we'll
that.
we'll get to that too.
Okay.
We got a lot of time here, but you know what I remember about the stay out? You had the circus people there, the Ringling Brothers.
Oh
people.
yeah.
Talk about that. They would come
They
after
would-
after they. I mean, they
Yes.
were probably at the Rosemont. You weren't that far from.
Right. Well, we
Rosemont.
had. I used to do a circus party for the Ringling Brothers people, and they all came. Some pretty amazing people.
Well, they would juggle ashtrays.
Well, no, not really. But we had the high wire walkers that literally walked on this high wire with no nets.
At the club or in the circus?
No, in the circus. But they had a 10 o'clock show in the morning, and they were still there at 7 o'clock in the morning. So I was really worried about their well-being.
Bob,
Yes.
how did you get into the stay out
Good
world?
morning.
Yeah.
How did I get into
Yeah,
it?
uh-huh.
Well, I was a bouncer there.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I started out as a bouncer because we had gone from a country and western bar to a disco.
Was the
And-
stay out one time a country western?
Oh yeah.
No, it was a rock and roll bar.
Well, it was
The Earth Lounge.
We had some country and western sons in there,
Yeah.
and
So you were a bouncer.
so yeah, I was a bouncer. We were going through a transition at that point, and next thing you know, we're at disco, and then Bill and I started playing together, and the rest is history.
Well, how'd the band form, right?
Well, you're right. It was actually it was by accident. I think a buddy of mine or the DJ had a set of drums in there. Bill started playing. We got another guitar player maybe later on, but it was just him and I doing centerfold for Jay Giles'
Giles'
song.
band? Yeah,
Right.
Yeah.
It was the Jay Giles song. It was our first song we did.
And let's prop the original band. Who are the original band members?
Oh my gosh, there was Bert maybe, and
It was me, you, Jimmy Johnson
Jimmy
was on
Johnson,
keyboard
yeah.
and saxophone, and we had several different guitar players through the period. Mark Elliman was one.
right.
Bert,
And
Jimmy Kidd, so on and
Oh,
so
we had a
on.
so we heard the Vanna song. You did a record. That
Yes.
was about '87. Tell us the roots of that song. And did you guys know Vanna White?
Well, my dad, it was a labor of love for my father to
Yeah.
do this album.
Uh huh.
It was the guy.
Tell us who your dad was.
Well, he was a monster. His name's Vic Caesar.
Mm-hmm.
And he opened up Caesar's Palace in '66, had his own club in '68. Count Basie, Duke Ellington, Wes Montgomery, Cannonball, they all played there. He was a jazz cat from the '50s in Chicago, playing the La Bistro on Rush Street. So anyway, he winds up producing Hefner's Girlfriends, and he wrote Nixon's campaign
Yeah.
song.
Now tell us about that. Don't skate over that.
Which one?
Nixon's the one, right?
Oh, Nixon's the one.
Yeah.
Yes.
So how did that go?
How does it go?
Yeah.
Nixon's the one. Nixon's the one. That's the whole song.
That's the,
Is-
so it didn't take him long to write it.
So
right?
yeah, and
Yeah,
then later on, he's doing Hard Bodies, the movie Hard Bodies,
Right.
another great movie that he did. He did so many great movies, but it wound up that we hung out with him, and Bill started hanging out. Next thing you know, well, let's do an album. It was like a Mickey Rooney movie. Let's put up a show. So that's what we did. We had talent night, and we had winners. We had they played with us, and it was just a labor of love. He wrote Vanna. We walked in the studio, Remington Roads.
Where was Remington Roads at? Schaumburg?
It was in Schaumburg.
Yeah, right.
Right.
Okay.
Actually, it was Heading West Studio.
Oh, I remember Head West. Okay, so
Originally,
go
yeah.
ahead. You walk in the
So we
studio.
walk in the studio. I go, "What are we doing here? We have nothing planned." And he sits
Like this
down-
radio show.
Right. Nothing's right. So he sits down at the piano and he starts playing, dun, 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 dun. And I'm like, where's he going with this? And next thing you know, he starts writing Vanna. And I'm like, oh, okay. Vanna, because Vanna was a playmate.
Yeah.
And very close with my dad. And it winds up that he wrote that song while we were in the studio for our first song. But he already had it. He knew what was going on. He knew exactly what he wanted. And to do the flip side of that album with all these novice people that were, you know, I don't know how he did it. It was a miracle.
So you're in the band, and then tell us about your other job where you got the name the singing sheriff. We were talking about this at the IHOP the other day, but yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Well, I haven't still performed all my life, even
Yeah.
when I was working for the sheriff's department.
So okay, so set it up. You'd be playing at the Stay Out.
I'd stay out at
How
2
late?
in the morning.
Yeah.
2 in the morning, we'd start when Bill gets
We
around to it.
we started at 2 in the morning.
Started at 2 in the morning.
Right?
And we went till like 6 in the morning.
It could have been 3 in the morning sometimes with you, Bill.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
It was whatever Bill comes out and says, okay, we're going to start.
Yeah.
So next thing you know, I have to go to work at 7:30.
The Cook County Sheriff's Department.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm
So you're
tired.
leaving to stay out and you're going to work.
So they started a whole shift for me. It was great. I loved doing that. That was the greatest career of my life.
What'd you do at the Sheriff's Department?
Well, I worked transportation, I worked the jail, I worked the courts, I've done everything.
I was reading all that background you gave me. Did you sing to the inmates at times?
Yeah.
What was
I
that
had a
like?
captive audience.
Yeah, of course. So what would you sing and how did they react?
And then a lot of people thought it was, what do they call it? It's too much pressure on these guys for
Oh, yeah.
to sing to them.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
but no, it was fun. It was a lot of fun. They sang along with me.
What would you cover? Just
Everything, blues, rock. Next thing you were doing, you know, I know you wanna leave me, but I refuse to let you go. Next thing you know, everybody's singing. You know, the whole freaking bus is singing. Ain't too proud to beg.
The
And
bus,
we
you were
rock.
singing on the bus.
Yeah.
Yeah. That boy. You musicians came into the Stay Out. We would talk. I mean, didn't Herman's Hermits come in there once? And talk about
Yes.
some of the people who visited.
Well, Hermits were good friends of mine. I'd known them for years. And yes, they came into the club. They actually came in and played one night. David Clayton Thomas brought his whole band there.
Weird Al, don't forget.
Weird Al Yankovic came there.
He was a little ticked off.
Yeah, well, we kept him there. It was like the sun was shining when he left it. He was a little bit miffed. He wanted
Yeah,
to
that-
sleep at some point.
Yeah, he wanted his
That was
limo.
always that happened to me. Leaving the Stay Out with the sun out is not a good thing.
Well, that's right. We had no windows.
Yeah.
We had no windows, solid doors, and we used to sell sunglasses at the door.
You did. I remember.
We,
that.
$2. You can buy a pair of sunglasses. And people go, I don't need a pair of sunglasses. They open the door, they turn around, give me a pair of those sunglasses.
You describe the room. Describe what was it? What was it before it was a Stay Out? I mean, was it always a club?
It was Earth Lounge, and before that it was a Greek club. It was the Fire Lounge. Let's see. It was a Greek
Capacity.
club.
About how much was it?
Oh,
how many-
300.
300.
300,
What
something
was
like
that
that.
black stuff on the ceiling?
Yeah, you had black stuff on the ceiling.
Well, it was a
Oh.
spray. It was actually cut up newspaper, ground up newspaper, and they sprayed it on the ceiling, and then we painted it black.
Well, you
But
helped
it was-
design the club too, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did the sound and the lighting and everything in there.
Great job.
It was an awesome club. I mean, you could really. Yeah, I don't have to tell you this, but you could lose track of time in there. You could sit there, at 9 o'clock at night, and the next thing you know, it's
I think Dave
8 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, I was a participant a couple of times.
Yeah.
The VIP room that I was in was very small. It was like a closet or
It
something.
was a closet.
Yeah.
Well, originally it was a
Coat room.
Coat room. The coat room turned into the VIP room. Well, you could put about 7 or 8 people in there comfortably.
Can